그런데 보통.
Have you seen the sun rise above the rolling waves, soft light touching us with colors in a warm and gray ocean hums a secret tune, a dream in whispers with you, and the sky paints our dreams in shades of glowing light. We float in waves of calm under the ocean's eyes. Can you hear the call of the sea in gentle breeze? We walk on silken sand where time moves with
에어컨이 감당이 안 된다고.
한 번씩 생기게